Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Six Star Podcast. This is Jimmy Cluso.
This is Johnny.
And we're here to solve the mystery of the Royal Rumble.
Overall we thought it was a pretty decent show, exception of a couple matches, but, that's exactly what we're here to talk about today. With the exception of the pre-show, we didn't really get a chance to watch it.
We saw the finish to the Revival match, and that ended in a roll-up. So it's not much to talk about when it comes down to roll-ups.
Roll-ups came a bit of a trend with this show. But anyway, we started things off with a WWE Championship match, which was a bit interesting. But out came AJ Styles and his... Actually, out came Sami Zayn first. And,
followed by Kevin Owens. It was actually an interesting concept because I don't think we've seen a handicap match for the WWE Championship, not in a long time, if ever, actually. So
yeah, and it was like they weren't like jobbers or anything. They were actually credible threats. So we thought, I was like, okay. I thought AJ Styles would walk away with a victory, but it was still not too obvious and stuff. And obviously, AJ Styles came out with his black, teal, and silver, pretty sick attire.
Yeah, he looked really good out there. Yeah. Like you said, top stars, and you didn't really expect, you didn't know if the finish was going to be clean or if there was something that was dirty going to happen. Overall, I think it was a very solid match. The roll-up at the end, I think storyline-wise, and story building, it was really good. It helped because it keeps this trend that Kevin Owens keeps being screwed out by the Authority.
Exactly. And we did actually get a chance to watch NXT TakeOver last night. And what I kind of saw as well with the NXT tag titles was ending in a roll-up. And I was like, okay. But then the women's title ended up in a different kind of roll-up. And I was more cool with that one. And in the same way, I kind of see the AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens in the same way, as in he didn't just get a regular roll-up, he kind of outsmarted them to get the victory, so it wasn't just, getting a cheap win, it was kind of outsmarting them, but...
Yeah, the important point, though, it was he got it on Kevin, who wasn't actually the legal man.
Yeah, exactly, I forgot that, but anyway, from start of the match, it basically started with them tagging out each other, and none of them, it was a bit difficult, I don't know if none of them wanted to fight AJ, or they were going for a bit of mind games, but... Yeah. It
was a kind of a slow start, I think, but overall it's kind of like that build to the main kind of climax of the match, and I think it did reach it in a sense.
Yeah, there was a few cool spots there, Kevin Owens hit this awesome electric chair face buster on Kevin from he was on the top rope and knocked him off, and then also AJ hit a super Frankenstein to Sami, which looked sick.
Yeah.
One of the greatest spots was there was a monkey flip to AJ, and as he was getting monkey flip, landed into a Hurricane Rana to Sami. So that
I think it was Kevin, actually.
Oh, my mistake. Well,
it was Kevin.
Either way, he pulled it off. Pretty impressive.
One thing, can we just talk about AJ Styles? Holy crap, he's the master of the last second kick out. I honestly thought the second that Blue Thunderbomb was hit, he lost to it on SmackDown, and logical thinking he's not going to lose to it again, but holy...
Yeah, Kevin set that up really well. He was on the apron. Yeah. Kevin booted him straight into the Blue Thunder Bomb, but he kicked out, pretty much on 3, but, just before. But when we were actually watching the match, we saw after the phenomenal form and Kevin saved him and everything, it looked like they didn't quite tag. And so we were a bit confused, but we were like, okay, so he obviously made the tag because he got the pin on him. But, obviously later on we saw after he tossed Sami over the top rope, got super kicked and reversed the pop-up powerbomb into the roll-up, and AJ walked away the champion. We saw a little backstage segment with Shane.
That just confirms Shane is literally the worst authority figure on television right now. I didn't think anyone could trump Stephanie McMahon and her 20-minute promos at the start of every single Raw. But I think Shane right now with his 5-minute cameos is just as bad.
Every SmackDown. I think...
It's when are you used to seeing the face authority figure trying to screw over the heels every single time? I think the last person that really did that was kind of Mick Foley in a sense, but he didn't really.
Yeah, you usually get the heel ones, which are annoying, but this one is a face one is still extremely annoying, but, that's kind of how it went anyway. But
yeah, overall a good opener, I reckon.
Yeah.
It should have been the Women's Rumble, though, but we're going to get to that in a second. Well, not in a second.
I'd say it was a solid match, maybe 2.5 stars, something like that.
Yeah, definitely. AJ Styles is just he's not capable of having a bad match. I think he proved that with his encounters with Jinder Mahal.
Yes.
And as I'm a huge Jinder fan, but even I know
you got to be realistic.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of solid openers, we went on to Chad and Shelton versus the Usos, which was Pretty decent match, yeah. I was just a bit confused, to be honest, like, going into it. I didn't actually realize that Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin were heel. Like, I thought, like, they were kind of, like, you know, borderline turning and stuff, and I thought the Usos were still heel because they've been heel for so long. But, yeah, apparently Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin were, which is a bit interesting, to be honest, because, like, I thought they could have, like, showed it more, but I guess by the end of this match, I did kind of realize, like, what they were going for.
I think also during the match, they were working on one of the Usos' knee, and that was kind of like, because the way this all started, I think the turn happened right before Survivor Series, and it started with a spot that injured one of the Usos' knee. So to kind of see that continuity was very good.
Yeah, I think, like, one of the best parts of, like, the whole match was, like, the whole build-up to just, not the end of the match, but to the very first fall. Like, there was lots of, like, near spots. Like, I remember one of the spots was,
it was like the super kicks and the splashes.
Yeah, also, like, even before that was, like, it was, like, a powerbomb. No, the two Usos, were squashed, like, sandwiched in the corner, and then Shelton hit the pay dirt, and I was like, well, obviously the other Uso's been taken out, like, no one's going to save him, but, you know, near falls and stuff, it was, it was actually
that's something you don't see in, like, 2 out of 3 falls matches, because usually you'll find, like, someone will get, usually it's the heel side, like, they'll always get a quick victory, and, like, they'll go on up, so then the faces can have the heroic comeback, but this was actually really good. They had, like, a lot of near falls, and it almost felt like, for a minute, I forgot that it was a 2 out of 3 falls match because they were treating it like they were treating that first fall like it was the holy grail of the whole match.
Man, that's a
and
great point,
when you look at it, in the end, it kind of did, because when the Usos finally had that momentum, it did throw Shelton and Gable off, which is once again really just good storytelling by both teams.
Yeah, but, like, even, like, I just, like, there was not really a bad competitor in this match. Like, everyone played a great part. Obviously, Chad Gable, like, for a guy his size, having the incredible strength he does, but, like, even, like, the athleticism he showed, he hit, like, a moonsault onto both of them, landed, like, perfectly in the middle, and, like,
that was jaw-dropping.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
I think just Chad Gable deserves to be, like, US champion.
Yeah, but, yeah, especially, like, even the first fall was, like, the ending to it was great, where it was, like, Chad went for a rolling German, but he rolled him back over, and Chad actually ducked under one of the Usos super kicks, but the other one was waiting right behind with another super kick, and I think it went on to, like, 2 or 3 or something.
It was, like, a super kick party followed by a splash, I think. Well, it might have been the super kick party that actually put him away.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. And then, so it was, like, going for a suplex. They were going for a tag team move. Shelton was going for a suplex, while Chad was on the top rope. And the Uso actually got him into a small package and picked up the win. So it was 2-0 in the 3 out of 4s match. Best 2 out of 3 falls match, which is a bit of a surprise, you know, to be honest. Like, you don't really ever see straight to, like a perfect win, I guess, in those kind of matches.
Especially because at one point there was the really smart, and, like, I pointed this out, really smart tag team work by Shelton and Gable when they actually took out one of the Usos on the outside, and it looked like they were almost certain to finish the other off and tie it all up.
Yeah.
That's when he got caught in the roll-up. Once again, another roll-up finish, I guess the story will continue.
But, it was, like, the build-up to, like, first fall was so perfect. I think, like, you know, a roll-up was kind of like, okay, so they can beat them once, but they can't really beat them twice. They had to be, like, you know, a bit sneaky to get that second win. But, like, the main thing was, like, it was pretty unpredictable with that, so I was, like, I was pretty happy with that.
I was almost certain, like, Gable and Shelton were walking out. I was almost certain. I would, like, have bet my life on that.
The commentators were really building them up as well. I was like, okay, maybe these are... Maybe these are putting them over. But anyway, I'd say probably even a bit better than the WWE title match. Maybe like 2.5 stars, something like that. But yeah, it's pretty good.
Next we move on to, well, my match of the night. I think a lot of people would agree with that, but
definitely
the men's Royal Rumble. Now, this was conflicting because I lost my mind that this was in the mid-card, because I think the Royal Rumble should be the main event.
Yeah.
And I get what they're trying to do with the women, and I'm happy for them. But this match, my God. The start of it was, I think, it was kind of weird. Like, for example, what the hell was Finn Balor wearing?
Yeah, I thought that was quite odd when he came out. I was like, "Oh, is that the lighting on him?" But
it was like red, brown. It looked like Shawn Michaels at, like, Survivor Series 2002, I think it was.
Yeah,
when he came out with, like, the brown pant.
But even just before that, actually, we were a bit confused because we kind of had like a thing going where we thought Elias and Aiden English were going to have a sing-off, or at least like
that was wishful booking.
Yeah, leading to it. And so Aiden English ended up being the first one to come out, but he was actually
so hyped.
He was actually just introducing Rusev, which I don't have a problem with, because Rusev was obviously like probably the most over guy in the match, with the exception of maybe
Shinsuke
Finn
Nakamura.
And Shinsuke, that's probably all, actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Rusev was pretty over in this match, yeah, but
I'd still
obviously there was quite a few. But yeah, Jerry Lawler came out to
announce. Yeah, that was actually really cool. He added kind of that classic feel to it.
Yeah.
I'm just not with this whole Rusev Day thing, honestly. Like, I've never been able to get behind Rusev. It's one of those things where, like, I kind of hated the anti-America thing, and now, like, I feel Aiden is kind of the one that's, like, got him to that next level.
I definitely a big fan of Rusev, but I prefer Aiden myself as well. I always thought Aiden was hilarious. Even when he was feuding with Ty, I was like, it's not really going anywhere, but this guy is, like, so perfect to his character. The balding hair, the Van Gogh tights, like, and his movesets are still, like, vintage and stuff and just singing for no reason. Like, I think he's a great character. Like, Rusev and them go pretty well together, even though they don't really seem like a team, because they're
very polar opposites.
Yeah, their gimmicks are so different. Like,
how do you put a brute and a gentleman together, but they somehow make it work? And I think that's, like, one of the reasons.
Some funny stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like, I was a huge Vaudevillains fan when they were down in NXT, because I think it was, like, Simon Gotch and Aiden English were just a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
And, just on the main roster, I think Aiden has kind of fallen away apart, but... It's sad.
He's still saying that, you know, he was, by the time he did come in, which we'll get to later, you know, he was pretty over, but so it ended up starting with Rusev and Finn, which I was a bit confused why they started, because I guess they started with two really over guys, and, like, the whole point was for Finn to last a long time, so I get why he started early, but he was just put next to, like, big
massive
guy after big guy, and I was like, geez, they're really trying to make Finn look small. Maybe that wasn't their intentions, but that's what I thought when I saw it.
Rhino coming in for the EC dubs.
The coveted number 3 spot. We'll get confused on that, but
that was actually, it was good, I think, because the Philadelphia crowd still reacted to him.
Yeah, and he got a decent pop.
And the thing is, it's just, like, based on the setting, you know, it's a Philadelphia crowd, they're very hostile, so you kind of need to give them the ECW people.
Yeah.
Because I think anybody else that wasn't named AJ Styles or Daniel Bryan, if they had, like, come out at number 3, they would have been torn to shreds.
Yeah, exactly.
But before the match even began, and I think we made a joke about this, but they always brag about Roman's 12 eliminations, but one of them is El Torito, so officially Roman only has 11 and a half eliminations.
We're debating on that 12. I don't know. It's a bit sketchy.
I mean, he's still broken the record until, like, you know, Kane eliminates, you know, 11 guys in a midget, then I think Roman's safe. And a 50-year-old Kane shouldn't be eliminating anybody.
I don't think he'll be in too many more Rumbles, if any. But yeah, next comes another big guy, you know, Baron Corbin.
I don't know what they're doing with him, honestly.
I mean, I know you're a big fan of him. Personally, he's probably one of my least liked guys on the roster, to be honest. I'm not a big Baron Corbin fan, but, you know, he is decent in, like, the very, very short amount of time he was in the Rumble. He was like... obviously last year he was, you know, one of the MVPs, you know, eliminating Braun Strowman on his own. But
it took the Undertaker to get rid of him last year as well. So
this year was not his best, but
he came in. I think he had a few spots. He got absolutely embarrassed by Finn Balor, who was the size of his leg.
Yeah, so it's a bit odd because, I mean, since becoming US champ, like, he lost in the United States tournament and we didn't see him for weeks. Then he announced Royal Rumble. I was like, oh, okay, like, he might be doing something. But
he could be a dark horse, and then in the end it was kind of wasted.
He could get an elimination, though, and a really sick counter of when Rhino was going for a gore and he hit it into the deep six. It looks pretty sick,
I think just, I don't know what they've done with Corbin, you know, like, things were promising. He went, like, Andre the Giant, I think, Memorial Battle Royal. Yeah. The next year he was at WrestleMania, but then he lost to Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. So, you know, he was in the title match at WrestleMania, and his second ever, his first ever WrestleMania on the main roster, because he was originally in NXT for WrestleMania 32, but, like, he was doing pretty well for himself, but, you know, maybe WrestleMania 34 might not look as bright for him. I don't know actually about Baron Corbin. I think he's kind of shifting into that big guy that everybody kind of beats. Like, you know, Bray Wyatt on Raw, he's kind of there for, like, as the kind of, like, threat that everyone beats, so they can go on to, like, someone bigger like Brock Lesnar and stuff. So it's weird because Baron Corbin, like, they gave him Money in the Bank. It was almost sure that he was going to be, like, the guy. He loses to Jinder in 6 seconds, which was hilarious. I mean, it's kind of like they kind of played him out, like, exactly like you said with Bray Wyatt. Because, I mean, I remember you saying to me before, like, Bray Wyatt's kind of been the champion for the sake of saying that if someone beats him, he's beat a former WWE champion, and with Baron Corbin as well, he's beat a former United States champion, former Mr. Money in the Bank, if that counts for anything.
Andre the Giant, Memorial Battle Royal.
You know, he's kind of there just just a beat. But so he tossed out Rhino, but eventually got tossed out by Finn, like you said.
Yeah,
but then
easy.
after that, came bit of a questionable decision where he actually pulled Finn and Rhino like under the ropes. You know, he threw Finn into the barricade, end of days onto Rhino, and hit like a chokeslam backbreaker kind of thing on Finn.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so they're going to be out for 1 or 2, but no, it was they were out for quite a while there.
It was like, what made it even funnier was that Heath Slater was the next entry.
Yeah, number 5.
And without a doubt, the highlight of this whole Royal Rumble, for me at least, other than Elias's amazing performance, has to be Heath Slater.
Yeah.
This guy comes in at number 5. He gets clotheslined by Baron Corbin, a clothesline that he sells like he's almost been shot in the leg.
Yeah.
In both legs, right in the hamstrings. And for every single entrant that came out, they just took a jab at Heath Slater.
Man, he was getting closer and closer to the ring each time. And it actually, when I saw it first, I was kind of like, okay, where's this leading to? But at the end, I was honestly really happy. It was pretty good, like, comic relief and stuff. But, like I was saying, like, you know, how Rusev and Finn were obviously, like, super over and stuff. What I thought what was really good about this one was they really spread out the guys who were, like, over and stuff. As you can see, number 6 was Elias, who came up with his guitar, open ring, no one was in there, everyone was knocked out. It was just the perfect, like,
the king of song style.
The king of song style, exactly.
He came in, he gave in a beautiful performance, and I loved how he was just like, the countdown will not begin until I'm done with my song.
Time is an illusion, I believe he said as well, yeah.
Yeah, so. I think we were all expecting Cena to come out at number 7.
Yeah, we were, but I was a bit surprised with this, but like, it actually turned out really well for him. It was Andrade Cien Almas, current NXT champion ever. As he came out, obviously had to beat up Heath Slater on the way to the ring, but him and Elias had a bit of a fight, as in the rest of the guys, you know, were still down and stuff. Yeah. But nothing too much happened there. But number 8 came Bray Wyatt. So again, Heath got beat up again to the ring, which was like, it actually turned out pretty funny though. It was like, it got a bit more funny each time, I got to admit.
Bray Wyatt, where do I even begin here? Like, I don't know about this guy. Like, I lose interest whenever he's around.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's kind of suffered the same thing as Baron Corbin, but much, much more. I mean, Baron Corbin is like more credible than Bray Wyatt right now. Yeah. And if you think what happened last year in the Royal Rumble, Bray Wyatt actually ended up coming 3rd, and he was like a big favorite to win because, you know, I was kind of thinking like, oh, okay, who's going to have the WWE title at Mania? And I was like, okay, Bray's obviously in the picture and stuff. And he ended up having it. Yeah, he's certainly like, you know, fallen a bit from grace since then, which is quite unfortunate, but... Yeah, I can't say he's one of my favourites, but hit a Uranagi to Elias. Finn returned, so actually he was about to hit the Sister Abigail, but Finn actually came in, but he actually got beat up by Bray, got clotheslined.
Yeah, I love that clothesline. That's one of my favourite moves, I think.
Bray Wyatt, did hit it pretty well. And one really funny spot before the next entrant as well, which I completely forgot about until looking at my notes now, but Rusev climbed back up onto Gabriel for the first time since he got out, and you hear a massive cheers, then Bray Wyatt knocks him back down, and you hear boos, and he gets up again. This goes for about 3 or 4 times, but that was actually pretty funny.
Yeah, that went through. I can't remember who number 9 was, but...
It was Big E, yeah.
Oh, it doesn't even matter.
No.
Ty at number 10, I think... it seemed kind of sorry.
Sorry, not too much of a big note, but while Heath was almost in the ring, Big E did shove a pancake into his face.
That is true.
Thought I'd just chuck it in there.
That is true.
Number 10, yeah.
Actually, I will take that back. There is a lot about Big E that we need to talk about. His pancakes are incredible. I'm still bitter about him and Carmella losing.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I like their matching scenes, but
they handed Asuka the L. They handed Asuka her first L.
She didn't take it too lightly.
Yeah, she actually, I think, tried to tear it apart. So Ty was at number 10, or was supposed to be, and I think it was cool. Like when they did it last year, this year it seemed like, but you know, I understand it. But he was attacked by Kevin and Sammy, or Cammy, as our boy AJ Styles like to say.
Yeah, which was a bit odd because, like, you know, I honestly don't remember the last time I seen Ty Dillinger since the United States tournament, which was a few weeks ago. But before that, I honestly don't remember him since like Hell in a Cell, maybe when he had that triple threat with AJ and Baron, where she like was just there really to take the pinfall. But yeah, Sammy came in and didn't really do too much, but I don't have any notes besides the next number, unless you got anything to add.
No, was next Sheamus?
Yeah, next was Sheamus.
All right, so Sheamus, if you've been following the memes online, Sheamus is dead to a lot of people.
Yes.
If you don't understand the joke, I don't either.
Yeah.
But he is apparently dead. But Sheamus comes in on his birthday, and I just want to know what what the talk was behind, like, backstage. Road Dogg comes up to him and is just like, hey, happy birthday, you're going to set a new record. And, like, Sheamus gets excited, like, yes, this is going to be the Eliminations record. No, you're going to, like, beat Santino's record for shortest time in the Rumble. And guess who's eliminating you? None other than the man.
Who was embarrassed?
The legend.
The whole
Heath Slater.
Yeah, so he actually was, Heath Slater was just about to get to the ring. I'm like, okay, what's Sheamus going to do to him now? He's had pancakes thrown in his face. He's been clotheslined. He's been beat up by everyone. Sheamus instead throws him in, which I'm like, okay, well, now he's getting him out. Heath Slater's going to be in a few seconds. But no, as soon as Sheamus gets back up, Heath hits a running clothesline. Out goes Sheamus. I'd say 2 seconons. Like,
yeah, I think he's given Santino, like, a run for his money for shortest time.
It's quite unlucky. But, yeah, Bray... I think I wrote this wrong. I think Bray eliminated Sheamus, yeah. Oh, Bray eliminated Heath, so yeah.
Wrong ginger.
Yeah, I did write it right. My mistake, yeah. So Heath got out Sheamus, and like pretty much immediately after Bray got out Heath. So Heath, you know, he got some spotlight in there. He didn't do anything like really that he's going to be proud of, but you know, he's got some memories.
At the end of the day, this Royal Rumble made stars, you know, in a way. Like, and it was in a weird way, like. Baron Corbin getting mad and destroying everything at the end, like after getting eliminated. That was hilarious.
Man, I think there's like by the time we hit the end of this Rumble, like we've got so many notes, and a lot of them are positive. Like we didn't really mention this at the start, but our kind of like concept and our reason for doing this podcast is more towards shining a positive light on like current wrestling or like most of them as I do find them funny and like entertaining and stuff. Most of them are really negative, and I'm like, but I disagree with a lot of these. So we
especially when you take it in light of WWE, I think a lot of people are way too harsh on WWE these days.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's more about like promoting New Japan, but
because I think this Royal Rumble, like this pay-per-view. Because, like I said, the Royal Rumble is like a very important pay-per-view because it kind of shapes the landscape of where the year is going.
Yeah,
you know, it's that first big pay-per-view, and I think they did it really well.
Yeah, this year was honestly like I can say this actual physical Rumble match, like the men's Rumble match, was like honestly I think it's my favorite in years. Like it might even be it's definitely like top 5 I've seen, probably top 3 I've seen. Like I really really enjoyed this, and like no one really looked like a joke, with maybe the exception of Sheamus, but you know he had something to do later in the night, and Heath even like kind of like he wasn't really an afterthought after the match, which is like the main point of him. The
thing with Sheamus is he got embarrassed earlier in the night, but now he's the tag team champion.
So it paid off for him. It was a good birthday for Sheamus, you know.
Yeah, he's like what is he now? A 4-time champion in the last year.
4-time tag team champion. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's actually quite.
But number 12 was Xavier Woods. Didn't really get up to too much. It was mainly just New Day running wild on a couple of guys. So you had Xavier and Big E,
I think until like Cesaro came in and like Kofi came in, things didn't really pick up. So you had those like they kind of mention it in the teens.
We said number 14, but before that was number 13, which had Finn counted like a sister Abigail into the foots. Did I write that right?
Yeah, into a double foot stomp. Like tripped him up. And,
it was pretty cool. But then, number 14 was Big Star as well, which is Shinsuke Nakamura. Came in absolutely over. The crowd was going crazy. You know, they were singing his song. He's singing his theme song way after like the music had stopped playing.
Yeah, I think that's just like typical Shinsuke. He was really over. I think, given the result of this match and the environment, Shinsuke was the absolute perfect choice.
Yeah, and like even when we were making predictions before, I put Shinsuke as my number 1 prediction, Roman is my number 2, and Finn Balor is my number 3. Yeah. And so I kind of thought that Shinsuke would win, but as like we kind of talked about like the Money in the Bank ladder match from last year, where Shinsuke actually came in, got like attacked, so he missed like good 3/4 of the match and only came out at the end. So I really didn't think they would trust him with a lot of guys there that he's, you know, not familiar working with. So I thought Shinsuke would come out 26, 27, 28, something like that. Definitely not 14. So when I saw him come out at 14, I was like, okay, maybe Shinsuke's not got this. But, you know, he did make an elimination pretty early, and he got rid of Sami Zayn, who, wasn't really up to too much, but hit that running corner knee, and he just flopped out the ring like a fish. But
can we talk about my favourite moment in the whole Royal Rumble?
What was your favourite moment?
Number 17. My sweet Maharaja.
Oh my gosh, the modern day Maharaja.
Jinder Mahal comes in. He takes out Xavier Woods. He takes out Big E, the 2-day, as you referred to them.
Yes, the 2-day, yes.
The commentators, especially Jerry Lawler, comes in. He's just like, Jinder Mahal is my pick to win. And they started putting over Jinder really hard.
Yeah, I was like, okay, maybe Jinder's doing quite a lot there. And he got 2 early eliminations. And like, when you think about it, Xavier Woods and Big E aren't jobbers. Like, they are credible. Like, they can beat people on SmackDown. They can be like credible threats on SmackDown. Like, they were chosen for the Mixed Match Challenge, which like, it's not saying like they're superstars because AJ wasn't there and like Kevin wasn't there and Randy wasn't there, but still like they definitely have spotlight, they're definitely over and stuff. But just before that as well, Apollo did get eliminated.
Yeah,
I forgot about that, but Cesaro uppercutted him out. But yeah, so he was doing pretty well. Like Jinder Mahal did make an impact early on.
Yeah, I thought like Jinder surely was going to be one of those, not one of those guys to be like in the final four, but I think like definitely one of those guys that would have lasted. Sadly, he didn't, because probably the worst Kofi spot in like that he's done out of a Royal Rumble. I think this is on par with like, what did he do last year? He hung on to the post.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty bad.
I was like, it wasn't like, when I saw it, I didn't think it was that bad because I was like, oh, okay. I thought that was kind of a botch. I was like, I thought it was kind of a botch as well. I was like, oh, okay, like, I think he's going to do something else. Yeah. He didn't, but I was like, it was all right. But this one was like, it kind of just like made it look really, really easy to stay in. And anyone to get eliminated just like looking incredibly like stupid. Like he was just like, he was standing with both feet on the ground, but like one was slightly raised up because he was standing on pancakes.
Yeah,
I was like, this looks incredibly easy to stay in this match. But like, I mean, he still did something, and like it was still over. So I was like, it can't be that bad. But
then what annoyed me is like he hits a Trouble in Paradise on Jinder. Jinder's about like 2 feet away from the ropes, and Jinder goes flying.
Yeah,
and I'm thinking this is a former WWE champion.
He got 2 eliminations, which is like to be fair, is like more than a lot of people. But he was in until the next entry actually. So Seth Rollins actually came in before he got eliminated, but Seth Rollins, did pretty well. He was sling blading everyone. He faced off with Finn Balor for a bit, which was cool.
Amazing.
Actually, he monkey flipped Cesaro out of the ring, which is actually really cool. But so basically once Jinder was out, they weren't really done with him. They actually tossed a couple of pancakes at him, which is not the best. But even Kofi didn't last very long either.
Andrade, the smartest man alive, the only person to not toss Kofi Kingston at his teammates.
Yeah.
Instead, Andrade decides to toss him to the side where he doesn't have help.
And it paid off. Kofi was out. Kofi did a pretty good sell. He was rolling for... I thought Undertaker's old theme song was playing, man, the way he was rolling, but yeah.
Oh, gee.
Sorry.
Oh, I just had to get that one in.
My mistake. I was waiting the whole day to use it. But yeah, number 19 was, of course, the man that Bray Wyatt was staying in for, which was Woken Matt Hardy, which was very, very over. Like I said, exactly, like, usually with... I'd say like around maybe 11 to like 17 or 18 we were saying. It's kind of like, that's where all the jobbers come in. That's where all the like...
lower tier guys.
Yeah, the geeks, if you want to say about that. But they actually really spread this out. Like number 14 was Shinsuke. Even, I'm going to give, what's his name? Jinder Mahal credit. Number 17 and 18, they were pretty over as well.
Yeah.
But Matt Hardy came out, he was very over. So like they utilized every spot and didn't go about like 5 spots without having someone that would really connect with the crowd. So that's why Woken Matt came out. Started off with Bray, which got like a loud...
That was amazing.
Reaction.
And for a second when they were working together, I was just like... Eventually, the blow off of this storyline is they're going to end up teaming together. Yeah,
it was a bit weird because you got two kind of strange guys, and you're like, are these guys really together? But it's kind of like you haven't really seen like that something like that before. So I was interested, and then they did actually get out Rusev. So it was kind of I was always thinking in the back of my mind, I was like, who's going to get out Rusev? Are they going to wait for Roman to get him out? Because whoever's going to get out Rusev is obviously going to get booed. So, but they didn't really get too much of a bad reaction, to be honest, because people love Matt Hardy. Actually, Bray Wyatt got a decent reaction on this.
I think a lot of people, like we were talking about Bray Wyatt, and for the longest time, you can say Bray Wyatt's character is stale, but I think Woken Matt Hardy is what both guys needed. Yeah,
it lifted him up and it gave Bray something on his level.
Because now Woken Matt Hardy is like, he's a phenomenal character in himself.
He is.
And Bray Wyatt is ultimately the perfect dance partner to work with. I think I can see this program I don't see it going into WrestleMania, honestly. I think Jeff Hardy and Bray Wyatt is more likely to happen then. That's just my prediction.
Yeah, that would be very cool. Yeah, but it was like, exactly, when Bray Wyatt was going against like Finn Balor, maybe even... Not Finn Balor to some extent, but like someone like Seth Rollins or something, you see a Bray Wyatt promo and you're like, what is this guy talking about?
Yeah.
He is not anything to do with the other guys. He's just saying random stuff. But then you have this other guy, Matt Hardy, who is saying even more like
ridiculous
out of
things.
Stuff. Yeah, and you're like, okay, so he's finally found someone who they can kind of be weird together. And if that's in the sense of a feud, which like kind of works, but even in the sense of a tag team, which would be like something really different. I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. But
I think because like I said, I think my prediction is Jeff Hardy's going to come back for a Bray program. So I think working Matt and Bray, I thought they would dethrone Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins, but obviously that's not going to happen by the events. But there's a lot of potential I think there, and I think Bray Wyatt and Woken Matt, they're kind of like a match made.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah,
and definitely a feud a lot of people actually wanted to see when Matt was still working in other companies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like with a few other guys, it seemed to be like a bit of a trend. Like Matt Hardy didn't actually stay in for very long. He didn't actually make it to number 20, and he came in at number 19. He actually eliminated Bray Wyatt, but eliminated himself in the progress. Or was it the other way around? They eliminated each other.
They actually hit at the same time, which is really impressive.
And
because they did that more in sync than I think the Royal Rumble. I think so. But they did that more in sync than a lot of Rumbles that were actually supposed to finish.
Yeah.
With the elimination.
Yeah.
Yeah, they landed right on. That was amazing. It was kind of typical, but
exactly. And what was the main point of this is that Matt Hardy, they were like, okay, when they were actually telling him, I imagine they're saying you're going to stay in. No, you're not actually going to make it to the next entry. You're going to be in for a pretty short time. But they didn't really let that hinder him. He came in and he made an impact. You're not really going to forget Matt Hardy was in there. He made an impact. So the whole Rumble was about making stars, and you didn't have to really make lots of eliminations to do so. He only made two, sorry. And
I think overall you look at kind of the Royal Rumble because neither Matt or Bray were going to win. So them lasting a long time, they just kind of did their thing. And they were done with that. They didn't overdo or overbook themselves.
They didn't overstay their welcome.
And there's a lot of people that did that. I think Cena was one of those people in this Rumble for me.
Yeah, he was number 20, the next entrance out. And so he basically,
John
went
Cena.
After a few people, had a bit of a standoff with Elias. I think actually everyone was... Oh, no, my mistake. Yeah, so he did go straight after Elias. Elias went for the drift away, but Cena actually hit the AA.
Out of the ring.
Yeah, not even just a standard one. He AA'd Elias out. As soon as Cena got in, Elias was eliminated, which was... it was pretty sad, but...
this better be leading to Elias winning. Even though I really want Finn and Cena to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm being unrealistic here, but I'm still obviously hoping for Cena Undertaker kind of thing. So I'm kind of hoping that this John Cena Elias thing is, just getting over soon. And like you said, the Go Home Raw pay-per-view or something like that. Or because I don't really see, Cena doing too many pay-per-views. So if he is at the next one, hopefully that's what happens there. I don't see him being in the chamber or anything.
Next on my notes at least, the Clash of the Superheroes.
Yes.
Vince, please, if you're listening, which you're probably not,
Superman.
Book Hurricane Helms versus Super Cena at WrestleMania, where the winner gets control of, I don't know, cosmic powers or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it was. It was
in a cosmic wasteland match.
I don't know what it was, but at this point in the match, there wasn't really many returns. Now I'm thinking, if you're going to bring a return, why the hell is it Hurricane Helms? And I kind of tried to laugh it off that him and Cena, it's two superheroes colliding.
But yeah, Hurricane was actually really over in the crowd, right? And he had to go for the choke slam. I was really happy he did that. He's iconic, Rock and Stone Cold and Triple H. He was always going for choke slam on those kind of guys. And maybe even Kane, if maybe I might be wrong. But he actually came out, and what we kind of noticed with this one, we're like, okay, so this guy's the first, with the exception of Andrade Cien Almas, this guy's the first kind of. No, actually, I would just say the first legend kind of to come back, because Andrade Cien Almas was not really a legend, but someone you weren't really expecting to come up, a surprise entrance. So that's what I meant to say. But Hurricane was the first one, and it was kind of that's where we saw a big difference between the men and the women's one. If which we will talk about later, women's had a lot more legend returns, NXT call-ups, but this one didn't really have to rely on it. They had a really good roster for this match.
Yeah, they did, and obviously Cena is the biggest heel in the company.
Yeah,
eliminating the two most over guys
in a row,
bar from Rusev
with an AA.
Yeah.
Elias and Hurricane both out.
Yeah, Helms is still getting a giant reaction. He's sitting on the steps, he's cheering with the crowd, and he's getting a giant reaction as he's walking away.
Yeah, I'm thinking that. Yeah, he was actually. Yeah, as he's walking away, he was getting a good reaction. But the only reason I can think why they wanted him to return is I don't know if you guys saw the recent things with Mia Khalifa as well, and he threw a couple shots back at her for insulting wrestling. So I was like, oh, is that maybe why? That got him a bit of exposure, maybe. And I saw.
I think
could be.
ultimately the whole GM for 205 Live.
Oh, okay.
Because I think Hurricane Helms was one of the first people that went on Twitter and actually spoke about like he should be the next GM for 205 Live.
That's right, he did.
Because of the Enzo incident. Which,
really recent.
Yeah, we'll just bar from that.
Yeah, we'll refrain from talking about that. But that you said that does make a lot more sense because they're both legends that we saw, which we will talk about later. There was one more, but they were both kind of, more to do with cruiserweights, more to do with 205 Live. So that's actually really interesting. I didn't know this.
Next up was Aiden English.
The boy.
The spot that pissed me off the most because Elias is gone. Aiden English is here, but what the hell? Where is Elias? Where is my sing-off?
He missed by 2 entries. If Cena came out at 20 and Aiden English came out at 22, Elias got eliminated after Cena came in. So we could have just been 2 entries before. We would have seen the 2 boys. And like we were saying as well, we had a bit of a missed opportunity as well, as we didn't expect Drew McIntyre to come in. But at least we wanted the modern-day Maharaja and the one-man band.
To be in
play one last air guitar, but,
before being eliminated by the 2 Shield guys who were in there.
But we did not get to see that.
Or, Jinder turns his back on Heath. But
we did not get to see that. But yeah, so we were pretty...
At that point, Aiden was my new pick to be eliminated next.
Yeah. And I think you're right. Well, let's go through with number 23, who was actually Adam Cole, which was pretty good until it might have been Corey Graves. I think he absolutely butchered his catchphrase.
It's just like Adam Cole, Bay. And look, listen, it's a great catchphrase. I love it. But just when commentators try to get it over, it sounds really cringe.
It's more one to be shouted, I think.
It's one of those things where like Corey Graves really needs to shut up.
Oh my God.
That's the one thing that I determined from this whole pay-per-view. Like Corey Graves,
he's great.
Corey Graves just needs to just keep quiet.
My boy Saxon is a tough dog though. But yeah, so he actually was really over, and I really like the fact it was really small, but I really like the fact that he was like taped up from Takeover last night.
Yeah, he was selling the injury.
Yeah, if you guys saw Takeover last night, you would understand exactly why. But it was like great match. It was cool to see him like 2 nights in a row in like absolutely stellar matches. Last night was obviously great, and he got a bit more spotlight in the last match, obviously because it was a singles match. But like he really made like an impact in this match. So but during this one, Aiden was actually taunting on the top rope, and Finn hit kind of like a Pele kind of kick to his chest.
Yeah, he does it. Do you remember when like Sin Cara, the original one? Do you remember that kick that he used to do? Yeah,
maybe like an Enziguri as well, like a rope hung.
I just know like Finn does that so much, and like, it's one of my favorite moves.
But yeah, it actually kicked him straight out. So I was a bit disappointed.
My prediction was right. Aiden was the next one eliminated.
You were exactly right. Yeah, but number 24 was not really playing any games either. He comes Randy Orton, last year's winner.
Yeah,
went straight after Cole actually, surprisingly. And then went after Almas for a bit. He was, not too fond of the NXT guys, but Almas hit a springboard, got caught into an RKO. Actually looked really nice. So
yeah, I think Almas if you're just watching, like basing it off this weekend of pay-per-views, Almas has won you over.
He's a god, yeah. His match last night was...
He and Johnny Gargano, my God.
As much as I loved Adam Cole and Aleister Black, which I did, I could not tell you enough how much I loved it. I couldn't think there could be a match better than it. And Johnny Gargano having the underdog story of the year, but still losing, but still being like
the best loser.
It was perfect.
I think we just need to review that takeover.
Man, we will. I think we just have to.
Yeah,
surely. Almas was looking really strong as the NXT champion. Coming in from I think it was number 7, and he's still in here. This is number 24, and he's hanging with the main roster guys, And
he's eliminated by, like, no slaps. He's eliminated by Randy Orton, last year's winner.
Yeah, and when you think about, like, the NXT guys, it was kind of like, you see a lot of Bobby Roode, Shinsuke Nakamura, Samoa Joe, Finn Balor. These guys are all, like, crazy over. And so you're kind of, like, thinking, oh, okay, so Almas is kind of, like, he's kind of a step down from these guys, you could say. But that's exactly what they went for here. They're like, no, he's not a step down. He can hang with, no pun intended, the big dogs. But the big dogs didn't actually see him in this Rumble, so...
Yeah, I could swear the big dog was entering at 30 again.
He got
at that point,
out.
I was just like, surely.
But yeah, number 25 was my next pick to win, which was Titus O'Neil, and boy was I wrong.
He was wearing white, so you decided to call him Whiteless O'Neil.
Yeah, it was not our best joke, but it got a few laughs in the living room. But
he lasted in for a really long time.
He lasted a lot longer than Apollo, I believe, and so Titus.
You mean to tell me that Titus wasn't in the ring?
Yeah, but Titus was standout performer. I wouldn't quite say the MVP. No, actually, I definitely wouldn't say MVP. Yeah,
definitely not. Bad. But I think for the lower tier guys, he definitely did the best.
He was surprisingly really good. But number 26 was like even
The Miz.
Yeah, another top dog in there. I was like, obviously Miz is not going to win, but like Miz isn't there for a quick elimination. Miz isn't there to play around. He's like the top mid card guy, probably on Raw and SmackDown. Would you say? I'd say I think Miz is probably the top mid card guy.
Yeah, we made a comparison to him to like Chris Jericho. He's never kind of the guy, but he's the guy you can call on.
Yeah, exactly. You could have a WWE championship with whoever the current WWE champion is and face The Miz, and The Miz will always be a credible threat. He might not win, but he'll always be a credible threat. And we thought the exact same with Chris Jericho.
And the thing about The Miz is like he's got the Miztourage. He never really he doesn't win because he's more talented or more skilled. He wins by outsmarting his opponent, and he wins with his mind. So it's one of those things where you can kind of play off the story that at the end of the day, it's just the stronger mind.
And oh my god, if you remember The Miz's first push 9 years ago, like 2009 was it? It was like the amount he's improved since then. And I remember his first big push was actually like, besides like, breaking up with John Morris and everything, it was versing John Cena, and they've come back to the John Cena feud, but it's just like, he's done it really well. It still feels so fresh. Like he's been a great opponent for him. And
he and John Cena have always had cross paths, because I think when Miz was doing his whole chick magnet thing, he collided with Cena and he went on a 5 or 6-0 streak against Cena because Cena wouldn't show up. Yeah. Once again, very Jericho-esque.
Yeah.
I think you can draw a lot of comparisons to the two.
But yeah, like Miz came in and straight from the start went to Cena with a spike DDT, and then obviously set up Cena and Seth were getting up like two of like, Miz's pretty good opponents. Miz never really had a feud with Seth, but he's always had great matches with him. Like looking back on like Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins versus The Miz last year on Raw was a great match, but he was hitting the it kicks on them, which were really, really over. Like they were crazy, and the AA actually. John Cena went for the AA but got counted into a skull crushing finale, and The Miz got super kicked. So he was like had a strong come in though. He was.
But let's talk about number 27.
Oh my god,
the absolute last guy I think I'd expected to see in there, except maybe like Hulk Hogan. But like, there's reasons for that. But I think out of the guys that are still competing. Rey Mysterio.
I could not predict that. And when he came in, I was like, whoa, what? I was, like his Titantron and his music, and he was obviously
He looked in amazing shape. I think this is the best shape I've seen Rey Mysterio.
No shirt or anything. He was like, looked pretty ripped and stuff.
He looked like he was feeling better, like in the ring. He was like a lot quicker.
He was happier and stuff. And like his attire was really sick as well. He like changed from the shorts to like his old school kind of WCW attire where he had like the tights and stuff as well. And he just looked sick overall. I think people would just be happy to see him. And like number 27 as well, right at the end, hit a 619 to The Miz, which is what we needed.
Yeah. At this point, you kind of ask why is Titus still there?
Yeah.
The next entry answered why.
We got our answer with
the big dog. Roman Reigns, everyone's favorite hero, the face of the WWE. He came out to a thunderous reaction in Philadelphia. It was boos.
Yeah,
a lot of people wanted. A lot of people wanted to throw things at him. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Now let me just throw this out here. I'm a massive fan of Roman Reigns, and it's not more so that I'm like misinformed about him or like miseducated. I haven't seen enough wrestling. Like I understand like how wrestling fans kind of think, but I think Roman Reigns is great because he knows like exactly. I don't know, my theory is he knows exactly how to be a heel, and is by being a face. Like, they know they'll get the biggest reaction out of him by being a face because everyone is going to boo him. If he's a heel, people will be like, oh yeah, like he's pretty cool. But if he's a face, people are going to hate him. And I don't think they really held back. But as much as I love him, did not want him to win the Rumble, but he was pretty strong straight from the go.
Once again, on that Roman topic, I think they often say like polarizing figures and characters, and I think Roman Reigns is definitely one of those guys because a lot of people do tune in just because they want to see him lose. Yeah,
like he's like a great guy to lose against. Yeah. And you can say that he wins a lot all you want.
But then when he's beaten.
Yeah, it makes such more of a big deal. That's why people are such a big deal about wins and losses don't matter. Well, now with Roman Reigns, they do. If he loses, it matters. People care if he loses. If he wins, it makes you angry and it just builds up to the next time he loses. Like when Finn Balor beat him on Raw, not last year, the year before or whatever. Like that was a really big deal. He beat him clean. You're like, whoa, how can Finn Balor beat him? So
on his first night out, he beats like essentially the biggest guy. Man. Another thing, Braun Strowman was a made man because he beat Roman Reigns right after Roman beat The Undertaker.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, exactly. So
yeah.
Roman Reigns really does make stars. I mean, he came out straight away and, he was obviously like the fresh guy. He was hitting uppercut and uppercut and uppercut and I didn't think, and that was where I found out I was wrong about Titus. He did he was eliminated, to say the least, yeah. He did decent, He got number 25, which was proved to be a lucky number later tonight, but unfortunately not for him tonight, but he did his best.
Yeah. Next out was Goldust. Who,
it was number 29, yeah.
I think they highlighted...
Oh, wait, no. Wait, no. It was the Miz. Taraj was saving the Miz from elimination.
True. My bad.
And so Miz got curb stomped and double powerbombed by Seth, which we haven't seen Seth for ages, but Seth and Roman double powerbombed him outside onto the Shield. And then what does Roman do first? Man, he's not too fond of Seth. Throw him back out. It was all for every man for himself. They try and tell you every 10 seconds,
Yeah, this made me very happy. I'm not a huge Seth Rollins fan.
Ah, come on.
So I'm a Finn Balor guy. Right?
No, fair enough.
Yeah. Goldust 29. It was highlighted that this is his 12th Royal Rumble, tied with the Big Show and HBK. Obviously has zero to no impact.
I can't think of a Goldust memory in the Royal Rumble, really.
He's one of those guys where he still gets a reaction, and I think
he was surprisingly beating up guys left and right. Like he was beating up John Cena, and I was like, "Oh, is this the same Goldust?"
Cena put over a lot of people in this match.
Yeah, Cena was great.
Cena took a giant beating at the hands of Finn Balor at one point, and it was out of nowhere. I just remember seeing in the corner, I'm just like, "Whoa, Finn, calm down." But yeah, Goldust kind of had his thing with Cena.
Yeah. And which was kind of weird because we were kind of predicting it at number 30 for a while. We originally thought it would be Roman Reigns for a while. But what was actually interesting is because you had Seth Rollins in there, you had Cesaro, you had Sheamus, and I was like, okay, they're all in the same match. So we kind of
surely Jason Jordan.
Yeah, you were kind of saying Jason Jordan because he was like, I was like, oh, okay, another hero is number 30. I kind of he is a face in kayfabe, but he is
he's kind of in the middle though, because you see the way he acts.
He did. Yeah, that's true. He's done some questionable.
He's kind of they are. I think they are a fan favorite pairing. But you look at the way Jason Jordan is, and especially later on in the night.
Yeah.
But Dolph came back. Dolph was actually my third pick to win.
Number 30.
Yeah, my picks to win were actually Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, and Dolph Ziggler, because I thought Dolph coming back and winning would shock the world. No one would have seen that coming. I don't think anyone saw him at number 30 to begin with.
I didn't see him coming till after WrestleMania, to be honest. Maybe that was just me. Maybe everyone else had kind of an idea, but I could not predict Dolph Ziggler coming. And what was interesting that I just realized is that this is the second time that he's come in as number 30 in Philadelphia. 2015 he was number 30, and now he's come number 30. But obviously this one had a much bigger impact because you didn't see him come in there and stuff. Even though as well as he was over in 2015, but he didn't.
Dolph comes in, he takes out a few people. Yeah. Goldust, for some reason, is the momentum killer.
Yeah, he super kicked a couple people.
In a match with Cena and Roman Reigns, Goldust is the one that halts Dolph's momentum.
Yeah, it was a bit interesting. But, that was the one. I think there was only one botch I can remember from the whole Men's Royal Rumble, and it was Cena going for the AA. And, you kind of predicted it from the start. You're like, all right, he's going to land it into a super kick. And he did. Yeah. That's what he was going for. But, yeah, he did slip a bit. But, it was fine. It still looked legitimately he landed and he was trying to get back up and stuff. So it still looked legit or whatever. But, yeah, he zigged down to Shinsuke and everything. Goldust got super kicked out by Dolph. So
Dolph was very quickly eliminated by Finn Balor after that, and then we had
by Finn Balor,
and then we had one of the coolest moments I think in this Royal Rumble.
Beautiful. This is this is a bit controversial, but I'd say this is my favorite Royal Rumble moment of all time. It was just perfect, for casual fans, because in this era, obviously casual fans are something that they're striving for. They got a cheaper way to get pay-per-views and stuff, so they got a higher chance of casual fans coming in, and they could recognize John Cena, they could recognize Randy Orton, and they could recognize Rey Mysterio, and they built this up so well.
And like we said, this Royal Rumble was all about making stars. Who was standing across from those guys? You got essentially the modern day John Cena, the modern day. Yeah. I wouldn't say Rey Mysterio because Finn's much more established in a sense, but and you've got Shinsuke Nakamura. So it was really cool to see kind of this. The past generation and the new generation.
Exactly. You had the new standing against are standing against the last generation, and they kind of like, it was like exactly like you said, they were staring at their counterparts. You have the small guy that kind of can, which is Finn Balor, or like the mid card top guy who can't be trusted kind of thing, which is like Shinsuke and Finn, and then obviously the similarities between like Roman and Cena. But that was like amazing spot. Crowd loved it. I loved it.
Yeah, I was surprised at Rey Mysterio going after Roman Reigns and John Cena after Finn Balor, but the young guys got the upper hand before being dropped by all the old guys.
Yeah.
Shinsuke and Randy Orton with an amazing exchange into an RKO.
Yes, that's
Shinsuke,
right. The kick,
Oh, it was amazing.
Oh, we did see a 619 to Roman and AA to Finn as well. So you could see like the last generation was really like taking it to these guys, and that's and sorry, like you said, like the RKO as well. So like the last gen guys are really like standing tall after this. But.
That was kind of like their moment. The oldies stood tall. At this point, it was mentioned that Finn Balor had been in the Rumble for 52 minutes.
Pretty impressive.
I think I predicted Finn Balor being the Iron Man of this.
Yeah, you predicted him starting in the match as well.
Yeah, I thought Finn would come in at number 2 and he would be the Iron Man, because here's the thing about Royal Rumbles. They make a big deal about number 1, but you get a good look at who they're trying to establish into a star with who comes in at number 2. Because number 2 is usually the Iron Man. Number 2 is usually in there for a while. Like, unless number 1's going to win, number 2 is usually going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, not win, but like at least have the longest amount of time there. Like you've had Chris Jericho in the past years. You've had
Rey Mysterio.
Mysterio. You've had Dolph Ziggler and whatnot. So there's definitely like number 2 is the Iron Man spot.
It was really good, and then like no one can really be disappointed that Finn Balor didn't walk away with a victory, because he walked away as the Iron Man. He walked away with the most eliminations.
It was at 5. It was at 5. Roman Reigns, I think, ended up with 3 eliminations. John Cena 3. So Finn Balor, for being in there the longest, it was a very even Royal Rumble. Like usually in a Royal Rumble there'll be like one person that kind of dominates, but in this Royal Rumble there was like a lot of stars, and you felt like this wasn't just any other like. If you go back to the 2015 Royal Rumble, which was in Philadelphia, that Rumble was like filled with a lot of lower tier guys. Like you just knew they had no chance.
Yeah,
and that's I think why there was like you had Rusev with 6 eliminations, you had Bray Wyatt with 6 eliminations, you had Roman Reigns with 6 eliminations, and when like 3 guys are wiping out 2/3 of the field, that's pretty bad. But in this case, Finn Balor, even though he only got 5, he still stood out because he had more eliminations than Roman Reigns and John Cena. And at the same time, this was a very even and competitive Royal Rumble match.
It was just like the roster was definitely not thin. There were so many like people that, you know, really got a chance to do something. Like you know, Baron Corbin made 1 elimination, but he still like made an elimination. Like everyone was constantly like making eliminations, and you weren't constantly seeing the same guy. You weren't seeing John Cena make heaps of eliminations, and even Finn Balor, because he was the Iron Man, they spread out his eliminations really well. You know, he did like 2 more towards the start and like 3 more towards the end or something like that. So you kind of didn't realize how many he actually got done. So but he was always having a constant presence.
After that, I think Randy Orton was gone at the hands of Roman Reigns. Rey Mysterio gone at the hands of Finn Balor.
Yeah,
and then we had
619 to Roman and Cena.
Then we had the stare down between Shinsuke and the Superdogs.
Yeah, which if you don't speak our language, it was John Cena, Roman Reigns, Finn, and Shinsuke, and I think I speak for the both of us. Where I could not contain myself at this point.
Oh my god,
I was getting too hyped because
my heart was skyrocketing. Like
I could see Finn Balor winning. I could see Shinsuke winning, I could see Roman winning, and I could see Cena winning. So I was not really sure what to expect. And Cena, I could see the least winning. I didn't really see him having a reason to win a 3rd Rumble, but you know, I could still see him definitely winning. I was like, oh, okay, like he could. You know, I'm gonna see how this goes. But I didn't really have time to think. I guess I was. Yeah, it was
just like. A lot of emotions are running wild, and this is why this is one of my favorite Royal Rumbles. It's the one where, like, in years, it's been really unpredictable.
Yeah.
There was a lot of exchanges. Finn and Shinsuke, my God, they had an amazing exchange.
Yeah, it was pretty short, but it was, like, great. And as soon as they were done, like, the 2 other guys, Cena and Roman, came to tackle them, and they hit another exchange, which is like,
it's their thing.
It's tough just tough to follow Finn and Shinsuke, but.
And, like, you look at Cena and Roman and the movesets that they kind of both had. It made sense. It was kind of hard-hitting.
Yeah, but this was a bit of the controversial part where Finn was taking out everyone with sling blades and shotgun drop kicks, and there was actually a Kinshasa by Shinsuke, and he was going for one, but he actually countered it into a double foot stomp, which is really cool.
And right off that, John Cena comes up from behind and eliminates Finn Balor.
Yeah. which was like, we were kind of disappointed at the time because there was like a lower chance of one of the guys we really, really wanted to see win. But
like Finn Balor was my guy. Like
you can't be disappointed with his like
Like if Cena didn't eliminate him, like Cena is the most credible guy in that ring.
Yeah.
16-time world champion, and like Shinsuke is obviously the best when it comes to the in-ring talent. But I think you look at the WWE careers, and Cena is definitely the top guy. And I think,
like you said, it would mean a lot more if John Cena eliminated someone than Shinsuke.
Yeah, so for example, like Finn's, like, and Cena didn't even like, it wasn't a dominant elimination or anything. Like Cena had to crawl up from behind and like take Finn Balor out, like catch him off guard, and it was one of those things where it could set up for a Finn versus Cena, which I would really like because I don't see what Finn could be doing at WrestleMania, but you know.
John Cena's got a few choices.
Yeah, so. Things always. Everyone wants to fight Cena.
Yeah, they do.
Because you always know that you're going to get like essentially a career-making match out of Cena.
Yeah, but Cena's got a bit of a track record going at the last couple of Manias. You know, he's been winning a lot. So, but I mean, it's not burials or anything. It's just a couple of losses. But then Cena and Roman questionably started teaming up on Shinsuke, which is a bit weird.
Yeah, Shinsuke at this point was the only babyface in the match.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
He actually was.
He actually was. He was treated like Roman and Cena. They kind of like
were dominating heels.
They knew they were using their size. They were bullying him around. Shinsuke eliminates Cena with an amazing exchange. And once again, Shinsuke made my heart like just stop for at least like a few minutes.
And I like exactly like I told you, I could not call this because I had Shinsuke as my number one and I thought Roman as number two. And as much as I love Roman, like I think you said it best. You said like my mind was telling me Roman, but my heart was telling me Shinsuke. And I was like, man, I had a lot of faith in him to be honest. But great like sequence between them for quite a while.
It actually went on for a while and I think that built that tension because because generally when you're looking especially from a casual audience perspective, Roman's going to win. But then Shinsuke wins. And like he hits him with this amazing Kinshasa on the run. Like Roman has bounced off the ropes and speared a guy 1,000 times and he gets hit with this amazing Kinshasa and then he gets like picked up at least halfway across the ring and then he's ran across and over the rope.
And I was like, okay, even though Roman just got hit with the Kinshasa, I'm like, he's holding on. But no, he went out. Crowd went absolutely crazy.
We went crazy.
Yeah. We were celebrating for quite a while, but it was like great match. My blood was still pumping like even like couple of tens of minutes after this match. I was like, geez, like this
amazing.
Would be the perfect closer to a show. Like nothing less of 4.5 stars, I reckon. From at least our perspective, we could really give it. Like I thought that was great.
It was an amazing Rumble. I think this is probably, and a lot of fans will look back on this Rumble and this will be their favorite Rumble because I think this is the first time since probably the 2004 Rumble where the fans got won.
Yeah, that's true.
Because you look back at like the past Royal Rumbles, like Randy Orton, they're just happy it wasn't Roman. 2016, once again, they're just happy it wasn't Roman. They obviously weren't happy with Roman in 2015. Batista wasn't an option. Cena, really, not really. 2012.
Sheamus, Chris Jericho was the favourite, so Sheamus walked away. And
Alberto Del Rio. Easily the most forgettable Royal Rumble winner, I think.
Yeah.
2010, I think Edge, people got behind him because it was a surprise return.
But he wasn't like, if you were looking at the Rumble and you go, this is my favourite to win.
Like, they wanted HBK because they needed that rematch. And like you go back and really since 2004, this was the first time that the fans guy won. And I think,
even with the exception maybe 2007, you could argue as well, like Undertaker. But like, even so, that's 11 years ago. And like, this was just great. Like, if you want to know how to like book a Royal Rumble, this is it. No one looked or just basically everyone looked credible in this match. Like no one looked like a jobber. Even the jobbers.
It was a really good Royal Rumble. I think it was very evenly well. It went for an hour and 5 minutes, but I swear it felt like it went for about half an hour. Yeah. I was so excited and so happy.
Great. And right about here, like we were saying, like we would be happy to turn off the TV here and call that a show. Like it was 3 matches, but that just felt like the last match. Like that could be the last match on any pay-per-view and just be like amazing. But yeah, we actually did have 3 more matches on here. All Raw matches for that matter. But
yeah, the Raw tag team, I don't really have much on this because I think at this point, and once again, I don't know, Jason Jordan, I don't know, man. Like he's really good in the ring. He's incredibly talented. You can't deny that. But
Yeah.
His character is this like whiny.
Yeah, I mean, I get some like sense of hope in the sense that they're building up to something. Like, obviously, he's not like they know that he's not over with the fans by being like
In
a
a
whiny
positive
kind of
way,
guy.
yeah.
So like they know that it's building up to something, but still, it's just like for the matches that we do have, while it's still building up to that, it kind of like lackluster. Like this match didn't really have anything of note, really. I mean, Seth Rollins was in the Rumble for ages, and then he had this match, and Jason Jordan wasn't even in, so it was kind of odd. And then Cesaro and Sheamus were in for a while as well, but yeah.
In the end, I think like Jason Jordan was taken out after one. He was shoved into the pole once.
Yeah. And he didn't want to wrestle after that. He did get tagged in and
he tagged out.
himself immediately out. Left him to fend for himself, really. Which just gets like the whole storyline, like, Seth's going to get fed up with him. But he just didn't really make for a good match.
Yeah.
It could have easily been done on Raw. I didn't really see why this had to be done at Royal Rumble.
The bar won, as we mentioned earlier. No climax, really, and a rather dead crowd. But you can't really blame them. They kind of put in that Royal Rumble match. I'm telling you, it was amazing, but it ruined the rest of the card for every other guy.
Man, if that really should have been main event.
Yeah, that should have been the main.
Like any spot after that, especially immediately after, like the crowd was so burnt out, like they're not going to pop for three guys they've already seen compete earlier tonight in like a much slower paced match and a much like more formulaic match. And so, I mean, it was I wouldn't say it's alright for what it was, but it wasn't really, to be honest. It was pretty.
I don't know. I kind of like. I just
pretty average.
I wasn't really
probably below. Yeah, definitely below average. I'd say. Yeah.
I think just let's move on. Universal title match is up next.
Yeah.
Once again, still a quiet crowd, but I think they were just kind of burnt out, as you said.
Yeah.
Brock comes along, he gets like a reaction. Paulie, obviously, he's always going to get a reaction.
Built the crowd back up, yeah. He was great.
The reigning, defending. I don't think that qualifies. Reigning, maybe, defending.
It's too late. It's already a catchphrase now, so
Yeah,
it's
like a UFC thing.
Yeah, but it was a bit of a like. I mean, it wasn't that short, but it was like you could tell it was rushed. I mean, from like finishes from the get go, was kind of like was like a bit like something you don't really see in many matches. But like it was kind of cool how they built it up to be like kind of street fight rules and stuff in there, and like three big guys just clubbering on each other. Like, I think it wasn't the best match, but like it, like they were doing what they should have been doing in the ring.
Yeah, and I think like you can talk about. They're three giant dudes. Like, what else are they going to do other than their finishes? But I think if you want a perfectly booked, like, big guy matchup, just look back at that SummerSlam Fatal 4-Way with Reigns, Joe, Braun, and
something in common with that, like, amazing match. And this match today was actually like, like Braun really was a star in it. As well, he didn't walk away with the victory, but he obviously seemed like the strongest in the whole match. He hit his finisher like a couple of times, maybe even three or something.
Yeah, I think Braun was the crowd's guy. He was definitely getting most of the pops.
He looked like a monster,
He was getting them back in there. Braun, I just put Braun's beasting. There was 2 tables out. Brock destroys Braun with suplexes at one point. That kind of slowed everything down.
Yeah. Chokeslam the Brock and stuff. And
Michael Cole in this match. Can we talk about Cole for a sec?
You can go ahead.
Michael Cole was...
it would turn into a bit of smart.
My God, Michael Cole was amazing. He was just so done with Booker's crap. He was at Braun. What happened is Kane was supposed to shove Braun into the table, but they messed it up that it looked like Braun just ran into it. And Cole basically just justifies this whole moment by happening, and he's just like, Braun just looked at that table and he said, you know what, I'm going to go through it anyway, might as well do it myself.
And later on as well was pretty funny as well. I actually laughed for quite a bit, but Booker T hit the commentary team with one of his classic lines, which was, "You got to be kidding me!" And then Michael Cole just simply goes, "No, we're not." And there was a bit of a pause there, but
it was like
I was definitely laughing at home. But
brutal F5 through the table. Now moving back to the match. Brutal F5 through the table. Braun's face bounces off the table.
The announce table. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
According to Corey Graves, Michael Cole once again being the star of this match with his overhyped commentary.
Yeah.
I think Michael Cole is the MVP of this match.
Yeah, chips the announce table onto Braun. Yeah, so it was kind of like a good storyline. Like got his revenge from SummerSlam. Yeah. And then Kane got the same fate, but his was the table didn't quite break as easy,
Yeah.
but, he, bounced off the table and was sitting on it for a bit, and I was like, oh, okay, it's not breaking. And then, 2
it
seconds
kind of just
later,
collapsed.
dropped. But I was like, it was Braun, looks like a monster. He put Brock through a table earlier. He put Brock through the announce table, and he put Kane through the announce table. So, Brock was obviously, wreaking havoc. He was hitting guys with steel stairs and everything. So, he was obviously, the top dog in this match so far. The MVP at least, yeah, but...
I mean, Michael Cole has something to say about that.
Michael Cole, yeah. True.
Yeah, it was it became a no-sell fest towards the end because I think there was a big move and then Kane comes in.
Yeah, it was still good, but like you said, it was pretty rushed. It was just
it felt like it was three big guys that essentially, I don't know, they didn't really. Kane didn't belong in that match as much as if this was a street fight between Brock Lesnar and I think Braun Strowman, it would have been a lot better than if Kane was in there. And I love Kane. 5-year-old me wanted Kane to win this match, but
if you think about a fight between Brock and Kane, or if you think of a fight between Braun and Kane, you just don't really see Kane actually win. But whether you see Brock, a former UFC champion, but then Braun, who's more of the young up and comer guy who's been destroying everything, those seem made for each other. And Kane, obviously we predicted, he was kind of just there to take. Well, actually, he was just really there to take the fall. He didn't do too much in the match. But.
Yeah, overall it was just a short match, nothing too special.
Decent match, but weak finish, I'd say. Yeah.
Once again, crowd was just
Kane. So actually, how the match finished though, but Kane went for a tombstone, but Brock threw him into Kane. Threw Kane into Braun, who was standing on the apron. Braun got knocked off, and Kane took an F5 onto the chair for the win. So it was decent what it was, and then it was final undercard match of the night, and we eventually got the main event, which started off with a giant video package. I was like, okay, to be honest, our first thoughts were kind of just my only major problem with it was kind of that it seemed more towards they were pushing the women Royal Rumble for the sake of just that they're women, not that they're the major draw. I would love to see women main event, pay-per-views, main event, any events, but for the sake of them being a big draw. If Ronda Rousey was there maybe, or even Sasha and Charlotte were big enough draws that they could headline a pay-per-view, and I'd be totally cool with that. But this kind of just seemed like I don't really see Dana Brooke and Mickie James and Tamina and stuff being in the main event, and just it just, I don't know, it just kind of really felt like it was just the Rumble as a women's Rumble for the main event, just for the sake of that they were women. I think they should have built a bit more towards it, maybe had a couple years of just more in the undercard and then main evented, but
because it is at the end of the day, this was their first Rumble match, and you often see people can say there's women's battle royals, but the rules are different. You just have to be thrown out of the ring. This was over the top rope, and obviously it's not the women's fault that they're shorter than the rope. That they have to jump really high. So I think the problem with women's wrestling isn't that people aren't invested in it or they don't want it to succeed. I think it's just that they know they've got something good in women's wrestling. They're just trying to push too many things too fast.
And that's right.
You look at for example, when it came down to the men, it was a lot of just one-on-one singles matches for a decade before they even decided Royal Rumbles. And even the first ever Royal Rumble wasn't that good. But it still took that giant build, and women have been around for decades and whatnot, but they've never really been spotlighted and had that kind of attention until quite recently. So I think it was okay for a match. Well, should it have been the main event? I don't think so.
I think they could have really built up to this for one, but I get how it was their first one and they wanted to push it as the main event, but it was just kind of like you said, pushing too many people at once, a bit of a lack of star power as well, and kind of a very thin roster. There was a kind of theme in the whole match was you were seeing every maybe 3 or so was either an NXT call up or a legend, mainly legends really. It was just legend after legend after legend, and there couldn't be more than 3 just main roster women coming in a row before a legend entry interrupted them. So it was it was alright. It was definitely a good start, something to build off, but I think they got lots of room for improvement.
And the thing is, it wasn't very well booked because when you look at the sense of who got the most eliminations, the legends came out on top.
Yeah, I think it was Michelle McCool got about 4.
Yeah, she finished with the most.
Which was a bit odd because, we're not going to see her again, I doubt.
I feel like I was all for obviously the legends and the throwbacks are going to get a reaction, and they were really the only true reactions, because I think Maria Menounos was getting booed when she was announcing the Rumble, and she tried to play it off like, oh, I see where you guys are at.
Stephanie got booed when she came out.
Oh, Stephanie, oh my. Like, did Renee Young die? Did they really need Stephanie on commentary?
Yeah, she was not the best on commentary. Oh, it's probably the worst, actually.
Yeah, overall, I just don't really want to talk about this match, because I feel like I'm just going to end up... a lot of my comments are just like how amazing Lita is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they started it off with Sasha and Becky, right? Which is like a good choice to start off, but you kind of saw that it kind of, I don't know, the kind of way they played it out looked like they were not really confident in the rest of their stars, because, like, Sasha and Becky stayed in for a really long time, especially Sasha, and I was like, they kind of felt like maybe they would lack, a star for the entire match, so they kind of like, all right, we'll just keep Sasha in the whole time, she's always like someone people know, but it was just kind of like, I don't know, like, yeah, I mean, it was what it was. I mean, number 3 as well came out and it was Sarah Logan. I mean, it just seemed like the match wasn't really built for casual fans, as in, which could have been their biggest draw, because, now they're advertising more than ever and stuff. And I think, the Men's Royal Rumble was great for casual fans. In the final 6, you saw Rey Mysterio, you saw Randy Orton, you saw John Cena, who, all casual fans would know. But then you come out with this one, it's like... I'm not saying everything should be catered for casual fans, but with such a big advertising market and one of the biggest pay-per-views and stuff, I really thought that they would go with one where it could cater more towards that. But Stephanie as well was pretty quiet in her commentary. But
yeah, I think the Women's Rumble was kind of the opposite of the Men's Rumble, in the sense that the Men's Rumble was all about making stars. The Women's Rumble was all about
remembering
burying their current crop of talent. I think the only bring
back legends and
even
stuff,
Sasha, she went down to the Bella Twins,
it
was who shone the most. It was the legends, and it was the women of the past, and yes, they should be respected, but I think if you're trying to build up this women's division, and once like you said to the casual audience, now why are people going to invest in someone that's already been beaten by a legend?
Why are you going to I tune in and I see Michelle McCool eliminate 4 people, which I don't have a problem with, though. I'm just saying she was the most eliminations, which was kind of I was like, oh, okay, that's a bit strange, but you see that, and then you tune in Raw and SmackDown, and you don't see her ever again. She's just there for one time, but she was the most dominant. So I was like, oh, okay, so the current people were more so made to look weak, with the exceptions of maybe Nia and Sasha, maybe. But yeah,
I think what didn't help this case is the commentary team basically called the women dumb. At one stage, Corey Graves asked...
Oh, that's right. I do remember that, yes.
Corey Graves asked, why does Sasha Banks keep breaking up eliminations? And Michael Cole is just this is her first Royal Rumble match. She doesn't know how it works. And then Corey Graves is just I'm sure she's watched the Royal Rumble match. And they kind of implied that the women are in this match, but they don't know how it works.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not the right way. It
wasn't the best way to build them. Yeah.
Build them up. And another thing that really, really annoyed me, and I think that annoyed you as well.
Yeah.
Why were the women always rolling to the outside?
Oh, that was so difficult to keep track of. I looked outside the ring, and I saw Natalya, I saw Sasha, I saw Becky, and I saw heaps of top stars, and I was like, did I miss their elimination?
Yeah.
And no, it just did not just happen once. It happened on multiple occasions.
Yes.
Every big move, I saw Sasha roll out, and I was like, okay, I get maybe she wants to recover or something, but you don't see that in any past Royal Rumbles or anything. It's just, you just stay in the ring, hide under the ropes or hide in the corner or something. But no, it was always out the ring. The ring always looked empty, and I'm like, whoa, where did everyone go? Did someone eliminate everyone? But no, it was just,
Naomi was the MVP, I think.
Yeah.
She's a really good athlete. I think a lot of people, they discredit Naomi a lot, but she's one of my favorites. She comes in, she kind of, the match picked up. You just knew the pace, picked up. It was much more intense, because Naomi's running down, she's got a bunch of energy, she's hitting everything that moves. She did get a Kofi spot where Nia threw her out. She was caught. She was on the barricade, and then she used the chair to get back into the ring before you.
Yeah, she kind of had her feet on the wheelie chair and was wheelbarrow walking next to the stairs, which is pretty cool. But it just didn't seem as authentic, but it still was. I enjoyed that spot. I thought it was pretty cool. But I mean, before that, there wasn't really too many highlights. I saw Tamina came in at number 7, and I swear she looked like the Honky Tonk Man, but. I mean,
she looked like a giant space cowboy.
Yeah, I mean, Tori Wilson came in at number 9. Yeah,
Tori.
Yeah, I mean, she looked in great shape, but she was not.
Yeah,
her wrestling skills weren't really.
A lot of the women that came back, they're in really good shape. I think apart from Michelle McCool, none of them really.
Yeah,
like a lot of them were rusty. Like I think Lita is always incredible, but you could kind of see she was a little bit slower. She was a little bit sloppier.
That's right. Number 13 was actually Lana, and she was actually the most over by far. Like, she was getting Rusev Day chants, but then it kind of became a thing that we saw as well, with like Lana was getting Rusev Day chants, and Michelle McCool was getting Undertaker chants, and Brie Bella was getting Daniel Bryan yes chants, and Nikki Bella was getting John Cena chants. And I was like, kind of like they try to focus they try to shift the focus onto the women, but it's still kind of followed through with like male focus.
Yeah, they used essentially their male counterparts to get over. And Beth Phoenix came in at number 24. At this point, I really wanted the Great Khali to enter at number 25 and get his revenge for the 2010 Royal Rumble. I was very disappointed. Instead, 25 went to Asuka.
Yes, 25 was Asuka. Yeah. There was like not really much between like pretty much 1 and 25 to me. I was like, it was like I saw like Jacqueline came in at number 21. It was just like no crowd reaction. Like number 16 was Vicky, right? Who I was like, oh, okay, like this is a bit of a throwback kind of thing, but like,
excuse me.
She was. I think she could have returned it somewhere where she didn't actually have to wrestle. It was just like the elimination looked really
sloppy.
Yeah, it just nothing really worked there, and even Carmella was like,
the
she wasn't wrestling her best, to be honest.
Yeah, she came in and like, I love Carmella. Like, I love Carmella more than anything in this world. I'm wearing a Carmella shirt right now. But
he is.
But she comes in and like I'm really happy. Now I wasn't expecting Carmella to win. I was expecting her to set like the record for the fastest like elimination or whatever. She comes in, she's kind of like destroying everybody, but it looks really sloppy and it's really slow.
Yeah. I mean, besides that, all we had was like Molly Holly. Who else was there that was like a surprise entrance? Kelly.
Yeah, she surprisingly got like the second smallest pop of the night.
Yeah,
I think the biggest pop went to Lita.
Yeah,
Lita and Asuka Asuka and Ember Moon. My bad. They all got the biggest reaction. Ember and Asuka had like an exchange at one point.
that was sick. Yeah,
Ember, that was just amazing. I think Ember Moon is like, if Ember Moon is not one of your favorite females, then we can't be friends.
And I mean, she had like the arm injury, so again, like she was playing off last night where she was taped up as well, and so Asuka kind of used that to her advantage. So this was like more towards the end. This was like after 25, and so she actually like had her arm hanging over the rope while she was on the apron, and Asuka pulled down her arm, and obviously like she played to the injury, and that got her eliminated. So that was like pretty cool. But then we had 26 Mickey, and then we had Nikki Bella, Brie Bella, Bailey, and Trish as like the final five entries. Sorry, final 5 entries. Yeah. It was alright. We had like face off with Trish and Mickey, double Stratusfaction to the Bellas, and Trish eliminated Mickey then, which is like pretty cool. Like I'm a huge Trish fan. She's like favorite top 3 wrestlers of all time, and is in not just like women wrestlers, is in top 3 wrestlers of all time. Like I'm a huge fan, and so like I was really happy to see her. And as number 30, like we weren't really sure who we were expecting.
Yeah, I was expecting Ronda Rousey. I think.
Yeah,
for like everybody who was kind of going into the women's match, like the picks were either going to be Asuka or Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Trish Stratus was an incredible number 30 once again.
And even after Nia came in like pretty early on, like 22 or something, and so she was still looking dominant at this point. Like she was taking out everyone, but eventually, you know, like the classic big kind of person elimination or whatever was like where they all kind of teamed up against her. She got tossed out, but it worked pretty well. Like I could not see any one person getting Nia out. Like even if they did the classic waiting at the ropes and pull it down at the last second and trip over, I could not see it. But they ended up like picking her up pretty well and got her down like safely and stuff. So she got eliminated, and Sasha turned on Bailey. That's right. She threw her, and so Sasha had a bit of a like heel run in the match. It looked like she was hitting a lot of slaps and yells. She was
stiffing Asuka. I was like, at some point, Asuka's going to get up and kill you. And it was weird towards the end because the final 4 were Sasha, the Bellas, and Asuka. Sasha's going after Asuka. She's setting up for that double knee thing that she does.
And Sasha was actually teaming up with the Bellas. So
she's setting up for the double knee, and the Bellas threw her out, which I felt kind of weird that like. I know the Bella Twins are a giant brand, and they're a giant name when it comes down to women's wrestling.
Yeah.
But we hadn't seen them wrestle in years, and I don't think anyone was going to think that Nikki and Brie were going to end Asuka's undefeated streak.
It was just kind of odd that like you were saying, like they weren't really trying to. I mean, I can't really take away from Sasha because it's really, really similar to what happened to Finn. You know, Sasha was like maybe one of the best in-ring performers or whatever. And she was the Iron Man starting in, and she ended up getting out. She got eliminated, by Nikki Bella, and the same thing happened to Finn, who ended up getting eliminated by John Cena. But for some reason, John Cena's felt really different. Like it felt like Finn was like a star by the end, but for some reason, it just felt like the Bella Twins didn't really have a place in being in the final three. Like, you know, I haven't seen Brie wrestle since 2015, maybe 16. Maybe she had a few matches.
I think the last match was WrestleMania 32. It was on the show.
My mistake. And then Nikki Bella, you know, like before WrestleMania 33, hasn't been there for ages. So I was like, at least, you know, John Cena's been like
consistent.
Yeah, it was just, I don't know, I found it kind of odd that they were the ones to get her out. Like, you know, like Asuka could have looked strong and taken out Sasha at the end. Like, but I guess like I see how they kind of played it because, you know, if Asuka was 25 and Sasha was number one at the end, you know, you kind of like go like, oh, okay, well, obviously Asuka's going to take her out. But still, it just seemed like, you know, Sasha was like not really taking too much damage and she seemed like she could have been a credible threat at the end.
Yeah, because she was rolling out a lot. I feel like...
Yeah.
It was weird. Like, I think we could all see Nikki punching Brie off the apron, like from a mile away.
Yeah, a bit of a turn on. Yeah, it was like, well, I mean, it's not really a point in a double turn when you don't see these guys. You don't get to invest in these guys, and you don't get to see what happens after. So I was like, I mean, like maybe a cool Rumble moment, I guess, but. I mean, so it was Nikki and Asuka as the final two, and they had like a decent exchange. Like they were in there for a couple of minutes, and Asuka got kicked. She was lying flat on her back on the apron. I was like, oh, that's a risky spot if you don't want to slip off. But she ended up kicking Nikki, and she fell off from. And I believe Ronda Rousey came out at the end as well. We didn't actually get to see that.
Yeah. Kind of just turned it off after that.
Yeah, but.
Like the women's match, it got a "This Is Awesome" chant, but I think it just got it because of the showdowns between the legends.
Yeah.
Not to take away any credit from the women.
They did really
well for a first showing, and I think
one. Like they've just got to build off it, and they could create like a great Rumble. I think it just wasn't quite ready for the main event yet.
Yeah. And the thing is, it would have been fine if. Like, not every other match that followed the men's Royal Rumble felt like it was in the death spot.
Yeah.
Because, like, we always talk about WrestleMania, there's always the death spot, which is the match that's in between a main event or, like, a main match and an Undertaker match.
Yeah.
Because generally those
crowd's burnt out.
Generally, those are the ones that, like, always get kind of the flack. The women are usually thrown in them at WrestleMania. This year they tried to, like, put in 2 more matches in there and, like, every match that followed that men's Royal Rumble because it was just so perfectly executed.
Yeah. And see, like, it was just a bit annoying in the sense that, like, you know, you look at the last guys in the men's one, and how could you not be hyped? You know, you see, you see, like, Rey Mysterio returning, Randy Orton, who won last year, John Cena, who, you know, and Roman Reigns, who are, like, constantly winning, Finn Balor, you know, and Shinsuke, the underdogs and stuff. So you got people to invest in. But in the women's one, they kind of were not treated as the same star. Sasha Banks, you know, on Raw and on pay-per-views even is constantly losing. I mean, she's like always in the top spot, but she doesn't seem to, like, you know, ever become the top woman. And the Bellas, you know, you haven't seen them in ages, and Asuka's very new. So, like, you kind of did expect Asuka to win, but even so, like, you haven't really had enough time to, like, you know, for her to be as over as guys like, you know, I mean, if you want to call Roman Reigns over and, like, John Cena and Finn Balor and Shinsuke and stuff. Even Shinsuke's been there for a short time, but he's, you know, been there for quite a bit longer, like months and months longer than Asuka. So it was just, like, kind of a, like, I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just a bit disappointing, to be honest. But, like, it was, like, still, like, you know, like you said, like, the first one, like, they've only got room to improve from here. Like,
I think obviously with, like, it was disappointing that they kind of relied a lot on star power.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there was only so many NXT call-ups. I think in the coming years, when you bring up more people, like the Iconic Duo, you've got your Kairi Sanes, you've got Ember, Shayna Baszler eventually.
Yeah.
Shayna, I think, is going to be, like, a breakout star in the women's division.
Yeah.
But on the topic of MMA girls, though, why was Sonya embarrassed in this match? I just don't get it at all.
Like, as you heard me, even as soon as she came in, I was like, okay, here's my pick for most eliminations in the match. And,
she got eliminated. I think maybe just next time, when it comes down to the women, like, when it comes down to a Royal Rumble, it's a great concept, but, like, They could like try and lower the ropes maybe or something. Just because it's really hard to kind of get invested in like believable eliminations when they have to jump and like hold on and like get themselves over and not like be thrown out.
Yeah.
And like once again, that's not the women's fault at all. That's just the fact that most of them are as like tall as the rope.
Yeah, exactly. And like they just like only got room to improve really. But I just think it was like the worst decision was maybe putting them in the main event when it could have it could have really built up to it. You know, you don't want to see like, you know, storylines go straight to the main event. You want to see them build up first. And I think this could have been the same. Like it didn't feel like, whoa, this is like the first ever women's Royal Rumble. Even though, you know, it obviously was, but it didn't really feel like it was as big of a deal as they kind of made it out to be. But
and you can't like the main event spot is a really tough spot. Like you're asked to close out a show, you're asked to keep people interested in when you put like the most over people in the company.
Yeah.
Like the third match in, people are going to be more invested in it. And like they got their guy, Shinsuke is their guy. He went over. Now they're not really going to care much about what happened. So I feel the women kind of, whilst something great happened to them in the sense that they were given this opportunity in the main event, they were also kind of put in a spot where it was like not sink or swim, but more like sink.
Yeah.
And try to hold on.
I see, yeah. I guess like the toughest hurdle they had to like jump was more like just the following act. Like, you know, it's always tough to follow an act. Like if you look at Survivor Series like last year as well, you know, like it was a great show, but the main event was, you know, the main event was really lackluster, and so people just turned to and said, like, hey, AJ versus Brock was a match tonight, which it was. But, you know, it's really tough to follow great matches, and so they were kind of, like, hindered with that spot as well. But, like, overall, I really enjoyed this pay-per-view, and, like...
Yeah, I think it's a really good pay-per-view. It gave you, like, a really good glimpse of things to come in 2018.
Yeah, like, really strong opener with WWE title. Like, the SmackDown tag was, like, pretty good as well.
Yeah.
Raw tag, it was alright. Universal was a bit rushed, and, like, we've already said on the women's, but the men's Royal Rumble was, like, best in years. Like, you have to be happy with the ending. You have to be happy with the performances.
Everything,
no matter who you liked in the Royal Rumble, you'll be happy with their performance because no one was made to look like a joke. I thought the Rumble was great. Like, sometimes, you know, it gets overshined by undercard matches, but this really, the men's Rumble match was the match of the night, I think.
That was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing. Perfectly booked. Shinsuke made his intentions clear at the end of the match as well. He said that he wants AJ Styles at WrestleMania, so it looks like the dream match is going to happen.
Simple but effective promo.
Yeah, I think, well, Shinsuke shouldn't talk too much. Yeah, this is one of those guys, he shouldn't talk too much. Being the third Rumble match, the Colonel Rumble.
The Colonel Rumble, which was won by Ric Flair. Yeah.
Oh my god, what about Colonel Ruru? I think we need some justice for Colonel Ruru.
He's quite unfortunate, but we'll see Ric Flair at Mania, you know. We'll see what he's going for, but...
Yeah, I think he might be just going for the bucket, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, that was the show. So I like I said, like really enjoyed the show. I was like on the edge of my seat for quite a lot, so definitely really enjoyed it and really picked up in the middle of the show. But yeah, it's a great show.
Yeah, I really liked it too. I think this is a good way to wrap it up.
Yeah, well, thanks for tuning in, guys.
Yep, thank you.
6-star podcast.
I want to love you. I want your love, 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 love. I want to love you. I want to love